this evening. And at this time, I would like for all of you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Trustee Powell is absent with excuse. Supervisor Colwell.
Here.
Treasurer Roman.
Here.
Trustee Voorhees.
Present.
Clerk Noble here. Trustee Smith.
Here.
And Trustee Ruggles.
Here.
Thank you. I'd like a motion for the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I have motion.
Support.
I have motion and support. It has been corrected already?
Oh, it's already correct.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Next item is public comment. Public comment, you have 3 minutes to state your case. You have to come up to the podium, identify yourself, name, address for the court recorder. This is generally for only items that are not on the agenda. If there's items on the agenda, this board has chosen that oftentimes we will debate amongst ourselves or have conversation and then allow for any public input at that point in time. So if there is an item that is not on the agenda that you would like to comment about this time, please identify yourself and come forward.
Anthony Dubay, 7785 Haley Road. I just have a quick one, and I don't know if this is the right meeting. How do we get soccer nets over at the field over there?
It's not the right meeting.
Not the right meeting? Oh, I'll email you that.
Contact community planning.
Community planning, deal.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no one else, I will close public comment. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Consent agenda is a list of revenue expenses, check disbursements, department reports, and such. Looking for a motion?
Make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by Mr. Ruggles.
I'll
Looking for
support that.
Support from Andrew Voorhees. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. It passes unanimously. Number 7, minutes. Approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of June 18th, 2024. Any questions or comments, feedback from the board? Seeing none, looking for a motion?
Motion to approve board minutes of June 18th.
Second.
I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. I didn't. Cardinal rule number 1, I didn't turn my phone off. I tell everybody to turn their phone off, but I've had that kind of day today.
Keep that motion in support.
I have motion from Mr. Roman. I have support from Mr. Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Okay. Next item are public hearings. Public hearings are to hear comment from the subject matter that has been posted. So in this particular case, public hearing, item A is a public hearing to hear comment regarding the establishment of the Special Assessment District for Burgess Bay Weed Control and Lake Improvement 2024 through 2028. I will make a motion to open the public hearing to hear comment regarding the establishment of the Special Assessment District for Burgess Bay Weed Control and Lake Improvement 2024 through 2028. That is in the form of a motion. Looking for support?
Support.
I have motion support from Mr. Roman. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Colwell.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles.
Yes.
Treasurer Roman.
Yes.
And Clerk Noble, yes.
Public hearing is now open for the Burgess Bay Weed Control Special Improvement 2024 through 2021. Anyone at this time that would like to speak on this will come up and identify themselves at the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to state your case. Seeing as none, I will close public hearing and make a motion to close.
Support.
I have motion, I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing has been closed. Public hearing number 2, public hearing to hear comments on the establishment of the Special Assessment District for Meadow Lane Road Maintenance. I will make that in the form of a motion. Looking for support?
Support.
I have motion, I have support by Mr. Noble. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Colwell.
Yes.
Treasurer Roman.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles.
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes.
Anyone at this time in the public who would like to make a comment regarding the establishment of a special assessment district for Meadow Lane Road maintenance shall come forward to the podium, identify themselves for the recorder, and have 3 minutes to state your business. Any takers at this time? Seeing none, I make a motion to close the public hearing on the comments to establish a special assessment district for Meadow Lane Road maintenance. I make that in the form of a motion. Looking for support?
Support.
I have support from Mr. Roman. All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is now closed. New business, first new business, 9A. First reading, rezoning request for parcel 1216200-03 Haley Road. This is a parcel that is a 15-acre parcel that is requested to go to a contiguous zoning, because I believe it's split zoning right now, Mr. Heber?
Yes, it's split zoning right now between agricultural and suburban farm.
Okay, which is a little peculiar, but not uncommon, okay? Anything you care to add for the board?
Sean O'Neill cannot be here tonight. He asked me to speak on this on his behalf. This went through the planning commission. The recommendation is to move forward with the rezoning. The staff recommends the approval of this, along with the consultant. That information's in your packet as well.
Okay. Understand that we are often approached, the board is often approached several times in the last several years for rezoning for different parcels of property. It's not uncommon to have a parcel of land that is at a greater zoning agricultural, which requires 5-acre parcels, to be taken to suburban farm, which is a 2-acre parcel. That is a very common practice in this particular area, and it is consistent with the master plan. The master plan is a long process, right, Mary? Yes. That is very involved and goes through a lot of mechanics trying to see what is in the best interest of the development, or putting a throttle on development in the community. And in this particular area, the recommendation is to go to suburban farms, which will allow a minimum of a 2-acre parcel and will not be a large development. At most, there probably will be 4 or 5 splits on this property. This board is not making that decision. We are merely only making the decision on the information based from the Planning Commission and the Community Development and the master plan to be consistent with the plan for the township, which would be to rezone it to suburban farms. Any questions from the board members? Mr. Ruggles, anything?
I don't have any questions. I'm the planning commissioner liaison, however, I was not present at this meeting. But I read through the meeting minutes, and I saw that the planning commission unanimously voted in recommendation of the township board to rezone this property. And in my opinion, I don't feel that it's inappropriate.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Ruggles. That's like the only thing that it should be rezoned to is suburban farms.
Suburban farms, I agree, yeah. That particular area,
One of the properties in my family farms, an 80-acre active farm, is zoned suburban farm, and I wouldn't consider it inappropriate.
yeah. It's kind of a, I don't want to call it a catch-all zoning, but it really allows you to have the same use. It does not allow for land divisions any smaller than a 2-acre. And that's only if they can meet all of the requirements. There can oftentimes be a parcel that might be a larger parcel, but just because it's X acres doesn't mean you're going to get Y number of units out of it, because if you don't have the proper frontage and the correlation of that, doesn't happen. That will be decided at a further date by assessing and through the county. So any questions at this time? I'd like to make a motion to move to second reading.
I'll second that motion.
I have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we moved to second reading. Okay, thank you. 9B. 9B is a resolution 24-034, tentatively declaring intention to establish a special assessment district being known as Emergency Sewer Connections 2024-02. Several years ago, this board took the initiative to set up a program to allow persons to go into individual and then collective group special assessment districts that would be for the purposes of having the sewer assessments for that particular septic system that may have gone bad, that they need to get tied into for those types of things. So the board has moved forward with this and has gone through the last couple of years trying to establish these types of things so that it can be done cost effectively for folks over a special assessment. Mr. Heber?
Yeah, this is the first resolution of the three resolution process. You're going to, if approved tonight, you're going to declare the intention to set the special assessment district for 3 parcels that have connected to the sewer, working with Aaron Potter's team. You'll set the public hearing for the establishment for August, and if that goes smoothly, we'll confirm in September the 3 parcel special assessment district.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
This is the second one we've done this year?
This is the first, I'm sorry, this is the second one. This is the second cycle of them.
This is the second one. Questions or comments from the board? Okay, seeing none, looking for a resolution? Looking for a motion?
I'll make the motion.
You got anything?
Mr. Roman?
Yeah, make a motion to approve resolution 24-034, which is the intent to establish SAD known as Emergency Sewer Connection 2024-02.
Okay, in the form of a motion, looking for support. I have support from Mr. Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, ayes have it. I'm going to stop for a moment because I saw some hands go up in the back here, and I don't want you to think that we're not paying attention, but you'll need to come up here and identify, what is it that you're asking? What question?
Previous issue that you just passed, I just had something to say. I haven't met any of you yet, and I had something to say. That's why I came here today.
Come on up to the podium.
So I'll just
Please
make-
state your
You
name.
need to state your name and address for the record.
Sure,
You
my
have
name
3
is
minutes.
Joshua Chiatovich. We do not have, I've spoken with a few of you before. I do not have an address in White Lake, Michigan, because I own a farm here that doesn't have a house on it. So we don't have an address. We have 48.5 acres at the corner of Hitchcock and Haley Road.
Do you
That-
have a you have a parcel ID number for the record?
Yeah, I can get that for you. Hold on, listen, I'm gonna have to look at my phone.
Please.
Okay, sure.
I think just your address is okay. You
That's
don't
all I
have
need.
to be in White Lake.
Okay. My personal address, I can give you my personal address
That's
if you
what
want.
we-
Sure. It's 563 Josephine Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48202. Cool. So all I wanted to say, we have, my brother and I, Jeremy Kelly, we own the parent parcel to the parcel that was just discussed as I was walking in. And I just wanted to make the board aware that there is a document, an agreement that we have with the owner, Lisa Goulda, that we made with the probate court of Oakland County that states they're only allowed to split the property 3 times. So I know that some of you may not even really think that's your job to care about that. But just so you know that we have that agreement, and whether it passes through White Lake or not, it's going to be tangled up. We don't plan on allowing it to be split into 5 pieces. And the reason for that, as you already know, I'm not going to bother you with it, as you already know, is that we want the nature to be kept nature. There's a fin that runs through that area. The area that they're asking to get rezoned is where the fin is. Our father cared very much, and we care very much for it. So that's all I wanted to let you know. I have 8 copies today of our agreement so that you could see it. If you want to, you could see it so that I'm not. Yeah.
This is not the appropriate place.
Sure.
And nor is this board making that decision.
That's wonderful. Mr. Cowell, could you?
Kowal.
Kowal, sorry about that. Could you tell me where the proper place would be and the proper time to present our paperwork?
Once the zoning has been established, then it would be through the assessing and the county, so you would need to contact the assessing department.
I see. So the process would be you all decide to pass it and then we present our paperwork. Is that correct?
Well, that I'm not sure. You would have to seek your counsel on that, whatever the case may be. All we are doing is changing the zoning. There's nothing forbidding that.
Okay. Well, I just wanted you all to aware that if you do change the zoning, there is a thing in probate court of Oakland County.
And I'd like to say something. So that's going to be probate. That's going to be a judge's decision. That's not going to be this board's decision. So
Correct.
what happens outside here is not going to be this, we're not going to have any authority.
I assumed, Mr. Noble, that you would say that. I've done the research and I assumed that was all of your opinion. I just wanted you to be aware as things go further that that's what's going to be happening. So, and I wanted everybody in the audience to understand that too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Resolution 24036 to approve an intergovernmental agreement between the Charter Township of White Lake and the Charter Township of Water for the connection of 1401 South Williams Lake Road to and utilization of the White Lake Township water system. For some of you, this may be something that you're thinking, how does this work? But I will tell you right now, on border communities, White Lake, Waterford, Commerce, a number of them, it is very common for us to allow the accessibility of the utility to the other community's residents simply because that community doesn't provide that facility there. Just for an example, if you go down Cooley Lake Road, there are multiple residents on Cooley Lake Road on the Commerce side in Commerce Township that are tied into the White Lake sewer main. As is, for example, the White Lake Oaks Golf Course is in White Lake Township proper, but is tied into Waterford Township water and sewer. A very common practice when the utility is not available from the parent community, and in this particular case, there is no water available to this couple. They've been notified by the Oakland County Health Division that they must tie into community water, and we are the first one. So this is pretty basic stuff. Any questions or comments?
So this is the first time we've done this or not?
No, this is not the first
Okay,
time.
yeah.
Multiple, I just mentioned 3 or 4
That's
cases.
what I thought. I want to make sure I
Yeah.
confirmed. Okay.
So if that, I'll look for a motion.
Make a motion to pass resolution 24036.
Support.
I have motion, I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Next item is another topic that's near and dear to my heart. Computer technology and all of the idiosyncrasies and idios that go along with it. And to present this to the board is going to be my assistant and deputy supervisor, Tricia Pergament.
Good evening. Trish Pergament, Deputy Supervisor. Somehow I'm blessed with BSNA, even though I don't use it. So I saw there was a need to have a discussion about this because it is eventually going to go, our current .NET is going to go away and everything's going to be in the cloud. There's time, but what I did was I summarized some of the things from the presentation. I don't want to go through all of it, but just to get everybody together on the same page, BSNA is our leading provider of financial management, tax and assessing, utilities management, and HRM software for the public sector in the state of Michigan. The platform we are currently using is a .NET, which means it's on-premises client server solution. So we have a server just for BSNA. This was released in 2008, this .NET platform. It's a 16-year-old product that they will no longer sell and no longer make updates for. They will support it for a few more years. Exactly how many, I don't know. Maybe 5, maybe less, maybe 6. The cloud-based solution was released in 2021, and according to BSNA, it offers significant technological and security enhancements. With the cloud-based BSNA, you can access it from anywhere without remoting into a server. You can inherit future versions of BSNA in your annual subscription. You can receive a more secure ransomware-resistant environment with multi-factor authentication, have less downtime. They estimate that it has a 99.99% uptime. It has disaster recovery as backups occur at regular intervals, and this means VC3 no longer has to backup and maintain our physical server. It reduces liability and costs by eliminating the need for the BSNA server, which would approximately, in today's time, probably be around $12,000. This means we would no longer have to have it upgraded or maintained. We'd no longer have to install updates manually on workstations for each BSNA module that we use. The cloud offers unlimited storage, which the server does not. It allows us to customize dashboards, workflows, workspaces, and more, and can run reports in the background while you're using it, which .NET cannot do. So I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because there's some things that we should be considering. To continue using BSNA, we're eventually going to have to move to the cloud-based solution. And we need to determine if now is the right time for us to move into the cloud. .NET, as I said, will be supported for a few more years, but there's a few factors to consider, and that is that we should implement BSNA if we continue with that software. When the time is right for the township, not Oakland County. We currently have the tax and assessing modules with Oakland County. The rest of them are here with our server. The county will not say when they're making the transition to the cloud, which could pose an issue for us. We were told that once they do implement, and this is not 100% given, but likely that they won't continue to support the townships and the cities, meaning they won't set up the environment for us to use through them. We would have to have our own cloud-based solution. And if we wait, then we run the risk that the county could implement when the timing is not good for us. We have a big move coming up. We have tax seasons. And so if we wait, we would have those things to consider along with potentially the server will probably need to be replaced in a couple of years. And then that would be getting us closer to the end of the .NET platform. And I think it's about, what did they say, Dave, 6 to 9 month implementation?
That's my understanding right now.
Yeah, so we wanted to have the discussion now in order for us to implement and be ready for next tax season. The timing is pretty much now, within this month, next month. I know there's a substantial cost increase, and I outlined that in my letter. And there was a couple of extra modules that accounting was looking at, and Dave was looking at the fixed assets for accounting and the special assessments. So I just wanted to open that up for some discussion with the board.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's like anything else. Your iPhone eventually gets outdated, and this and that, the other thing gets outdated. And the county has been spinning off some of the different things that I think they're kind of getting away from. And one of the things that they're going to get away from is this monitoring this particular program that we have right now. I mean, it's going to affect you, Dave.
Yeah, it will affect us, and I know that Mike and Kim and Kim Patton and treasurers, we had a conversation about this, and Kim and I have both tried to get from the county, what is their plan for .NET? Are they going to offer the same thing they offer, or the cloud, are they going to offer the same thing in the cloud as they do for the .NET, like provide that for the local communities? And we cannot get an answer to the question. We've asked, or I know Kim's asked orally, I've asked in writing in an email, and they won't respond to it. When we talked to BSNA, when they did a presentation for us, I asked BSNA, do you envision doing something like you did in .NET in the cloud, where the local communities for assessing and tax could, piggyback on their applications? And they didn't come outright and say no, but they didn't think that was something that they were going to be offering in the future. In fact, I think the larger product that the county uses will likely just get pushed to all the local communities. I don't know that, but that's what it kind of sounded like to me. It's going to be one or the other.
I can't imagine there'd be a reason for them to continue because it's going to be cloud-based.
Right.
Right now, they have it set up in a Citrix environment
Right,
that we utilize.
Right, they deploy we get to their servers through Citrix, and it's only a matter of time. For local governments, it's going to be when we make the move to cloud, not if we make the move to cloud.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. The timing is something it's very important both to the assessing and treasurers, and we agreed on a timeline that basically, once we close our process and we hear our residents appeal their assessments of the March Board review, then it goes into settlement time for Treasurer Roman's office. And we think that would be the ideal time for us to make a conversion to a new system, hopefully allowing enough time for smooth transition for July 1 tax bills. So
Which means we have to start soon. So,
Yeah.
so when you look at not knowing exactly how long they're going to support the .NET and how long the county's going to be out there supporting us in the Citrix environment, let's say we wait and we don't do it this year, then next year we're getting into a lot of moving activities, and then it's another year, and we don't know what could happen by year 3. So it is sort of a delicate situation right now.
A year 25 would be the time to make the change because we're not going to be moving in 25.
Right now, that's what I'm saying.
2025 would be the time.
I'm
to
saying right
implement.
now is the time to make the decision, because otherwise
We can
will-
make the
Yeah,
decision
we want
now.
to get in line now.
Yeah.
We would have to start working on it now.
Right,
We would literally make the decision, and they would start, they have like 6 to 9 months, like I said, to get this going, to get it ready for implementation. So they would immediately start working on it.
Okay.
So if we don't, then we wait another year, and then we have another 6 to 9 months to wait. It's not as simple as flipping a switch, and we could get into a predicament is what I'm worried about.
Yeah, as long as they understand, I mean, if they start now, you know, our big question is how is that going to affect our current operations?
It won't. I mean, we'll continue doing what we're doing
Okay.
until implementation.
Yeah, because thinking out loud, between April 15th of 2025 and June 1st of 2025, that's the time when we're totally down.
Right, so we would have to have more discussion about it after this meeting if the board's favorable, and then really shore up the timing. We have a quote. One thing I don't know is if they are gonna want to offer a 3-year agreement to lock the pricing in, rather than this year-to-year thing. They didn't put that in here. They have said that I guess they were recently sold a majority of the company, and they believe there's going to be a fairly more significant increase next year too. So that's another factor than there normally would have been if they hadn't sold a good portion of the business. So,
Well, I guess my thought is we don't really have much of a choice, you guys. I think Dave.
Well, I think this is really something that's going to affect a lot of the different departments with a primary impact on assessing and treasury. And I mean, obviously, it's going to affect clerk too. But, so I think you guys are going to really have to be in the driver's seat as to when it's going to be a logical time for you to make the shift. You start setting up programming and doing the technological things to get things in motion. And then, you know, on that magic day, you can push the button on whatever it is, April 16th, and boom, you're in the new system.
right, but we need to accept an agreement. So I'm not saying accept it tonight, because I actually would want to talk to them a little bit more, but we need to accept one soon.
I would like to see if they could give us a little longer term agreement for a couple of years so we know where we stand on this. I think we're going in this direction, we know that. But it would be nice to know where we're going to stand over the next 3 years. I think
Right.
it would be nice to have that so we can plug it into our budget. So that I
What
would really
kind
like to
of
do.
timing would you say, like a 3-year or?
I think a 3-year would be ideal. I don't think anybody's going to give you anything more than 3 right now. I mean, just the way, based on other things that we're looking at and other contracts and opportunities for different projects and out there in the mainstream, I think 3 years is going to be probably the limit of what we're going to get
Okay.
And I think it would be nice to come back to the board and say, okay, here's a 3-year program. You know, we know where we're going to be the next 3 years. I mean, if they offer 5, hey, we'll listen. But somehow my gut feeling tells me it's
Maybe
going to be
start
3.
with 5 and try 5.
Yeah, we'll start with it. And then, so Dave, maybe you and I can have some more discussion with them this week or early next week surrounding the timing, so we're confident that, they're going to be able to meet our timing.
Yeah,
for
I think that's a good
implementation.
idea. And the idea tonight was not looking for board approval. It was just to bring this topic up and tell you the situation that we're in. We'd like to be in front of it and be proactive as opposed to being reactive.
I think you need to pursue that train of thought and pursue the possibility of coming back with
So
a multi-year.
I'll see what we can do about getting more of an agreement
Okay.
put together. Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Anything else?
No, I mean, it's technology, that it just is what it is. It's ever changing and
Good.
we have to keep up with it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Great job. A lot of work. Well done. Thanks, everyone,
Thank
for all your help. Appreciate that. Item E, request to approve fire truck purchase of turnout gear. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Can you hear me okay? Do you need me to go to the
No,
podium?
you're good.
Okay. Thank you, Board. What you have before you is our request to purchase 6 sets of firefighting turnout gear, and that's just the coat and the pants. You're going to see a lot of me probably every year. We have a replacement schedule. The gear is replaced every 10 years. That includes everything. We've attached 3 separate bids, and this time we're actually going with a different gear. We're switching from Globe to Lion. Lion's a little cheaper, but it still offers the same level of protection and specifications. I did budget for turnout gear, but I do want to be very transparent with this. Last year's purchase fell on this year's budget. So it's hard to forecast the delivery time. Sometimes it's a little quicker, sometimes it may fall in the next year. So I budgeted this year, and because I had to pay for last year's and this year's, it's going to put me a little bit over for what I budget, so I'll have to adjust a little bit, but I did want to be clear on that. So what we're looking for, Board, is just a purchase of this 6 sets of turnout gear. And our recommendation is to purchase from Phoenix Safety Outfitters for $25,182.
You guys are getting to be real expensive.
Tell me about it. It is expensive, yes.
I know, and I understand that. Questions, comments
Now,
from the
this is
board?
going to some older.
Andrea?
Sorry. I'm trying to think of some veteran firefighters. They're the ones that are getting these new turnout gear.
Not necessarily just the veterans, it's whoever gear is up for schedule to be replaced. We keep every firefighter in our department, with the exception of our part-time staff. The career staff all have 2 sets of gear, and that's necessary in the case of,
So there's not any, it's not like.
there's no lag time on decontamination, where if we're deconning gear, they have another set of gear to replace, yes.
Okay, I see you've done your homework and you were able to find, I tell you, there's been things we've looked for, in particular to the buildings, and sometimes we can't get 3 bids.
Yeah, we're fortunate that there's a lot of agencies out there, they look at local government and fire departments, and they're happy to jump on and try to sell us stuff.
So you're looking to go to Phoenix.
With Phoenix, that's correct.
And this will be ready to be used when?
It'll be used, we have a replacement schedule trying to stay ahead.
Yes,
So the
correct.
gear doesn't expire. It'll be used as soon as we receive it.
So like it'll be by like September 1st, as a quick thought.
No, this gear, we'll be lucky to see this gear by December.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And, okay, just curious.
Mr. Ruggles?
I had a question. So you're switching brands, is that just because of the cost?
Because of the cost, that's part of it, and also the Lion gear, there's a lot of the guys like it. They like to fit, we have a vendor come out, they try the gear on. Remember, you're working hard in this gear. Between the extreme weather conditions, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, and then everything on top of it with the air packs, and they put it on, and yeah, this is the same, Detroit uses Lion gear. So it's definitely good gear, and it wears well, so.
Oh, yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay, questions or comments from anyone else?
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Supervisor,
Please do.
to approve the fire department's purchase of turnout gear with the brand of Phoenix that Fire Chief Holland discussed for the
Okay.
amount of 22,
25.
25,
182.
182.
Support.
I have motion, I have support, all in
I
favor?
would roll call, it's financial.
Aye.
We always do.
I'm sorry.
Do it
We'll
again?
deny.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
It was a late aye.
It was a late aye?
It was
Okay, but I
aye.
was wanting to make
Aye.
sure.
We
Okay.
didn't vote.
We gotta vote.
We had motion and support, and then we
Yes.
need to vote.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I thought I heard aye, I'm like, wait a minute, okay.
Let's do it again.
Let's try it again. We have motion, we have support, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good,
Good.
thank you. All right, we got that out of the way.
Of course, it's with the fire department stuff, right?
Yeah, all right, and we're all good here. Item F, request to approve fire department sale of 97 Pierce Dash tanker truck. Chief?
Yes, thank you again. We had discussed this when we, at a special board meeting when we were we're financing our ambulances. We talked about we are gonna sell, especially this truck. This truck is 1997. It's the oldest truck in the fleet. I can tell you this truck has not made a call for service in over a year. It's getting very expensive to maintain, and board, I do understand that I came to you in 2023, my intention was to kind of limp this truck along, but it's not cost effective anymore. When we put it out, we use it for service, something else breaks, and I would like to sell this before it really holds no value. I came with a long list of repair requests,
Yeah, I
when
guess
we
so.
really haven't even gotten to that yet. We've spent more just in the last 3 years in repairs. We spent just over $31,000 in repairs. And really, we're not even using the truck. I don't want it to be used because every time we take it out and use it, it's a very costly repair. Something else breaks on it.
breaks.
And what I'm asking for today, we're just looking to list this for sale. And just keep in mind, before we would sell it, we would have to bring that request back to the board again. Yes, sir.
The last 2 ambulances that we bought, medics, it was stated, what, 2 years to order one, right?
I'm so
Like,
sorry.
To order a fire truck or a tanker, it's about 2 years out, right?
No, it's probably more about 4 years now from what I'm being told.
4 years?
4 years.
So we have one tanker truck and half the townships rule. So shouldn't we have 2 tanker trucks in the meantime until I'm all for getting a new tanker truck down the road. We're gonna have to get one. But shouldn't we keep that tanker truck? Because once one truck pulls up, you want the next one to continuously bring that water flow. I'm all in favor of keeping it while we waiting to get a new one. Because 4 years out, we can't go with just one truck.
That's a good question. I am not proposing to purchase another tanker, and let me explain further. Right now, we have been operating with one tanker. This truck has not went on a call in over a year, and for White Lake Township. And it takes staff to pull, there's a lot of times we've been trying to right-size our fleet. It takes staff to pull those trucks. Now, with our new mutual aid system, the Michigan Automatic Box Alarm System, our mutual aid requests are quick. So you look at one or two things. We bring water and we bring a fire apparatus to the fire. We rely on our mutual aid partners to bring additional water as we need it. So I feel absolutely, we've been operating with one tanker without missing a beat with that. So this truck here, the reason we're looking to sell it at Clerk Noble is because it's not being used. It's sitting in the station. Well, even though we're not using it, it's still required to have DOT inspections. Every time there's an inspection, anything to keep that truck safe that has to be repaired before we can use it has to be taken care of. And I will go one step further. Our mechanic, who works for a company that their money is based on repairing these trucks. His verbal recommendation, he told us, I'll keep fixing this truck. My recommendation is to remove this truck from your fleet.
Where's the next tanker truck if we were on the north end? Closest that we would get.
On the north end,
Yeah.
Springfield Township and Highland Township
all have-
and Independence Township.
We have, there's plenty of equipment around us for mutual aid. That's a.
Absolutely.
The mutual aid
that's a
systems, and I'll be brief, the mutual aid system now is set up where we're not thinking about it when we get to a scene where our water is coming from. We have district cards. So if we call, as an example, if we call for a box alarm, that box alarm is set up for that district. So we already have predetermined departments that are already coming and what they're coming with. And that would cover, that includes covering our fire station. So we would bring another department, they would cover the station. That would give us another piece of apparatus at the scene. If we call for an additional alarm, that's more people and more apparatus. The system is part of the state of Michigan, and it has simplified the process.
Yeah, but if the one you're using breaks in the next 4 years, then you have zero.
If the one we're using right now breaks, we'd still have some issues just because, and it has been taken out of service. What we do if that happens, we contact our mutual aid departments, and it's an automatic response on any call we think we would need water. So they would be on a first alarm basis. Does that make sense to you? So if we had a call,
You'd be relying totally on mutual aid.
for water, just remember, there's two aspects to this when we have a fire. There's fire suppression, and then there's water supply. We would be relying on our partners for water supply, but remember, we're rolling up there with an engine that's carrying 1,000 gallons of water, and then the outstations, there additional 1,000 gallons of water too, and then with a strong infrastructure.
How fast would that 1,000 go at a fire?
That's a hard question to answer. It all depends on the flow.
If you're gentle on the water, 3 minutes? 2 minutes?
No. 1,000 gallons. If we're flowing 125 gallons a minute. But again, that's a hard question. It depends on what's on fire, really, and the supply that's needed. But I will tell you that right now, if that tanker goes out of service, which it has, our new one, we'd contact our mutual aid department, that's our surrounding communities, and they're on a first alarm basis. So if we get a call for a potential or a possible house fire, that department's called immediately along with us.
Where's that, the unit that you want to sell, where is it currently kept?
It's being stored at Station 1.
John, how much longer does it take to get a truck from another community out here than using our own on average?
Mike, and I'm sorry, that's a hard question. It depends on if their station's staffed, if they're out on calls. But our first priority, remember, is this: we have to put water on the fire, right? We have to so our guys fight the fire. Our mutual aid partners bring us the water. We're either bringing our water and not fighting fire, or we're starting the fire suppression and they're bringing us the water supply. The one thing we're blessed with here in this township is our infrastructure. We have, remember, I've been here 39 years. When I started here, there were no fire hydrants. And we've had such a growth here. And I'm comfortable, as with Chief Marinucci, my predecessor was comfortable with selling these tankers and right-sizing our fleet. And I'm comfortable because that truck has sat for a year and has not been used. So in this year's time, it hasn't been used. This is why we have mutual aid partners.
What do you think that truck has a market value of? Have we been given a suggested market asking price?
Based on what we're looking at, we checked one of the sales platforms, we're going to list for about $70,000. I'm not saying we will get 70,000, but that's what I want a good starting point. We need to have a benchmark here somewhere. So.
Before we make a decision, or this is my suggestion, can we get some maintenance records and just?
I sent them, you have them.
Yeah, I'm-
They're in your packet.
This is terrible.
Thank you for sending those.
Clerk Noble, I sent maintenance repairs records from 2022, 23, and 24.
And for a vehicle that's sitting.
For a vehicle that's not been used that much in 3 years, that vehicle has cost a total of maintenance of $31,557.97.
Solid.
Also, keep in mind that,
Go ahead, Liz.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say, keep in mind that just because we're putting up for sale, if you need it in that time frame, you can still use it.
I have instructed my staff to use that on an emergency basis.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not gone yet.
No.
You know, if we need to back up, it's still available until it sells.
Yep.
That was the truck that was in the fire, for 4th of July parade, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was comfortable sending it into a parade, yes.
That's how good it was.
Yeah.
I mean, my thought is, if you're gonna get 70 grand for it, knowing what the cost of a new one is, I'd keep the thing. And maybe even look into putting some more money into it to make it last longer.
You
What
understand?
about that possibility of renovating it?
Well,
maybe to bring it back into, so where you can actually use it more. I mean, the cost of new John, it's gotta be what for a new tanker?
It is, but understand, I'm not requesting to replace this truck. To me, the new tanker we have replaced this truck. That did replace, so we're,
You don't feel that we need two tankers?
I do not feel that we need two tankers, nor does my staff feel that way. And understand this too, I've included the DOT inspection report and the cost estimates, and the corrosion on that truck right now, this estimate was from 2023, is just to fix that alone is over $38,000, just for the corrosion. The frame is starting to rot away.
How much did we pay for the last one we bought? I can't remember.
500,000.
So $500,000.
Right in that range, yes.
$500,000.
Yep.
That last new fire truck we bought, was that the tanker?
That's a tanker.
That was 500.
Yeah,
Because I'm hearing prices are even,
Well,
they're still going up and they're.
I'll tell you, it's, even with maintenance, it's a hard projection to make. You know, with inflation, I'm trying, even doing budget work right now, I'm trying to look at the state trends. And it just depends on what economic platform you jump on, really, which one do you believe? So when we look at the cost factor of a truck, certainly I can tell you right now, no doubt about it, these trucks are gonna always increase in price. They're going to increase in price. Engines are going to increase, and at some point, we're going to start looking at replacing those. Everything has, you know, it's aged. But I can tell you, this truck, we've gotten our use out of it, don't you agree? I mean, it was purchased in 1997. It's the oldest truck in the fleet. And I will tell you, it's a great truck. It's been a fantastic truck. It's a 3,000-gallon tanker. What we did when we purchased a new one, our new one is 3,500 gallons.
And any engines that we purchase in the future, we're going to have, we're going to increase that to 1,500 gallon?
When you, just understand, when you increase the tank size, you lose compartment space.
Right.
You lose compartment space. And I apologize if I sound clumsy with my words, I'm not trying to, but I just feel, this was not a knee-jerk reaction, nor a decision that I made. I sat with my staff. We had an apparatus committee. It was a collaborative effort, and we talked and we looked at everything. And we feel and what we did, we look at our trend, our response trends. We looked at, I had them pull the last time this truck went on a call for service, and it was June of last year. I'm sorry, yeah, June of last year, and it was canceled en route. And then again, I think within like a short time, the truck, something went wrong with it again. It's an old truck. And when you start pumping that hard with a truck, it hauls water well. But remember, when you start pumping with it, things break, and they're expensive repairs. And at some point, we'll make a decision on, is it worth to keep sinking a lot of money into this truck if it doesn't get used that much, or do we sell it? And it's my recommendation we sell it, because right now we've had no issues where where mutual aid hasn't been able to come and help us as we would help them.
Yeah, I have
He's got some.
really have a concern about the corrosion issues, because that's something, once that starts, that goes. And yeah, that's 40 grand right now.
I will tell you, this is from April 2023, this estimate. It's probably going to be higher now.
Oh, it's going to be a lot higher than that.
know.
It's got to be like a wish list, right? Not all necessary.
Yeah, so
DOT report.
if I have the list here, and I looked at it, and what I did was, there's so much stuff on here, I tried to prioritize it, and the biggest thing I started looking at is what do we fix to keep us in service? And it's the DOT stuff. It's the stuff that keeps that truck, makes it safe to operate. And the corrosion factor it is a priority, but it wasn't the priority at that point.
So if it's sold, what do you think somebody's going to buy it for? To use it as a?
Yeah, typically, when we have sold trucks, it's usually, I think the last tanker we sold was bought by it's a smaller community. They come and buy these, because again, you look at, this truck is unique, and I'll tell you why. It's almost like a pumper tanker, because it carries 3,000 gallons of water, but it's an extended cab. So most tankers are two-seaters. This is not. This will seat, I believe, 4 or 6 people. It's got the extended cab, and it's got a top. Has a top pump panel, so you're not engineering the truck from the side. You're up on top. It gives you good visibility. So the truck, I think, will sell pretty quick. It'll have a lot of value to a smaller community. It really will.
And so you think they're gonna buy it and they're gonna fix it?
They're not going to have, they're not going to have any choice, but I will tell you this, the longer we hang on to it, the less value, the less we're going to get for it when we decide to sell it. It's a 1997 truck. So the longer we hang on to it, at some point, I think everything has an expiration. It has to. Any piece of equipment will. And how long do we agree that we should maintain it, hang on to it, and keep sinking money into it to a point where, especially with the corrosion factor of this frame, you can't prevent it because of the Michigan roads.
John, do you know, some of the surrounding communities, are they also operating with just one tanker?
Some are, some have one, I know Independence Township, they have an old tanker that because they loaned it to us. If you guys would remember, this tanker went out of service. We could not get it scheduled for repair. Our new tanker, we didn't take delivery. Independence Township loaned us that one, and they went down to one tanker, and we had that tanker for a few months.
Why would you need it loaned, though, if you are comfortable with?
Well,
relying
because
on-
they offered it.
That was.
Supervisor Ruggles, when they offer me a truck for free,
He said he's comfortable with mutual aid.
No, you want one tanker.
Right.
plus
one tanker,
mutual.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you only have one and it goes down, then you're comfortable with just mutual aid.
We are, but when this one went out of service, they offered me the tanker. I didn't call them. When you have the chief of a department said, hey, I have an extra tanker, a backup tank sitting here, would you like to use it? It would have been foolish on my part to say, no, we're good. Because I couldn't, again, I had no idea how long this truck was going to be out of service. And I believe we took delivery of the new tanker before this tanker was even repaired, so we could get Independence's back to them.
We did, I remember.
And board members, understand this. I'm bringing this to you, and I'm bringing you my recommendation. This is your call. But this, I'm telling you, to keep this truck going is a lot of money. And so I'm here to interpret the facts for you. And I'm interpreting that this is gonna take a lot of money to keep this thing running, and this frame is rotting away, and that's something that can't be ignored. I would come back to you soon and say, okay, we're gonna have to sink more money into it, because remember, once the frame starts going, then safety concerns start coming into play. But again, understand this, I'm giving you my interpretation, and I'm bringing you my request, and when I'm proposing, the call, it's your call. If you would like me to keep the truck, that's your call.
I have a comment, if I may.
Yep, please.
Thank you, Supervisor. So I just want to put my comment out there. I'm going to choose to put my confidence and trust in Chief Holland. He does have 39 years of expertise, and public safety is ultimate to this board, so I think it makes us pause for a moment when we're talking about getting rid of a tanker. But again, I have all the trust in you. If you're telling me that this, is just a bottomless money pit basically, and it's not safe, then I'm going to choose to rely on your expertise. He's just asking for us to put up for sale. So if we want to reconsider, if he gets a bite on it, at that point in time, we can say, no, we don't want to sell it and keep it. He's just asking to put it out there and see what we can get for it.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah,
Andrea.
I agree. I'm not an expert on the fire department. I have full confidence, and regardless of your 39 years, you're the expert. I'm not an expert. I'm a trustee. I'm a nonprofit worker. I'm gonna take your word for it, John. I don't want it to become a money pit. So I'm full in agreement that we need to put it for sale for you.
Mr. Roman.
Yeah, when I saw your repair number, 31 grand, and that's a total for 3 years, I actually thought that was light. What's the maintenance, John, roughly for a newer truck over 3 years? I mean, you gotta be putting 30 grand into it.
On a newer truck, no, absolutely, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's high maintenance for 3 years.
It
But
is, 30.
Yeah, $31,000 in 3 years is that's a lot of money in maintenance costs. I think, I mean, I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but actually I do. Can you give me 1 second? I can tell you what I budgeted for vehicle maintenance last year, for this year, $62,000 was my maintenance budget.
Say that number again?
62,000.
Thank you.
So this truck alone last year, it ate up, in 3 years, it ate up
Yeah,
$31,000.
about 10 a year.
Yeah, so it's an expensive truck.
So it needs corrosion repair. 30 grand, you said, roughly?
Yeah, I would say it was, a year ago was 38,000, it's probably more than that
So
now.
40 at least.
Yeah.
Is there anything else big that's wrong?
Yeah, a lot, there's a lot, I've got a list of things I haven't even gotten to yet. There's, tie rods need to be replaced. I mean, we could, if you guys want me to provide this to you, I still have this list, there's a lot here.
We've been for a ride in it.
We saw that list, didn't we, at one time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
At home, I mean, I think of the same stuff, and I think to myself, I've got this old truck, it needs 30 grand in repairs, is it worth 30 to have it? Maybe it's worth 30 just to have it here in case I need it.
It's not 30, though.
it's not 30, that's, I guess that's the
38 to
confusion.
fix it?
It 30, that's just for the frame. That's for the frame repair. There's more things that need to be done on that, and again, I'm giving you a I'm giving you a modest projection, what I feel, because it's a year ago. Again, board, I'm just,
Hey, John.
I'm not sold one way or another, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're just asking questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think what it is I think the board's looking to get a financial snapshot, okay, to say, okay, let's put this truck back in as best possible condition that we can. And if we put that kind of money into it, what's our life expectancy out of this truck? If we put, I'm just gonna pull a number here. If we put 100 grand into this truck, okay, and you tell this board, I can get 5 to 6 years out of that truck, okay? That's, I think, what we're looking for here. So what I would like to ask you to do is I'd like you to go back, take a look at it again, dig into the nuts and bolts a little bit further, and then we come back and we'll have a further conversation about it.
sure, what would you like me to bring back?
I would like you to bring back what I would call this is the ultimate fix list, everything that is wrong with that truck and what it's going to cost to fix it. That what the township would need to invest in that vehicle to keep it roadworthy for the next five years?
Yep, 5
Well,
years.
yeah, it's
Next
shocking
5
what you
years.
said. I thought it was, last time you just said 3 years, and then you just said it went up to 4, and we're gonna have to replace engines soon, so it's gonna
Chief-
probably
Chief,
push us out.
Anthony,
Do you-
what's the first part that you said? I couldn't hear you.
That it's 3 years, it was to get the ambulances were 3, correct, chief? And now, because of the supply and everything else, it's 4 now, right?
Oh, okay.
To get a new engine,
A new engine, not the ambulances.
but,
Yeah, not the ambulances, yeah.
a tanker or an engine.
Yeah, that's the
4.
forecast. Again, it's hard for everybody to project it because there's so many different players when you order a truck.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking, because you're ordering chassis from one place. So that's their projection, 3 to 4 years for delivery. So if you spec a truck, as an example, if I think we have to replace our engines in the next 8 years, so in 4 years, we'll start the specification process. So by the time we're ready for replacement, then we take delivery. It's not, we're not gonna wait, that 7 years, then start the specification process. We stay ahead of it that way.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think you just need to do a little more, we'll have some further conversation, you and I, but we need to have some more homework done so the board can make the decision whether or not it thinks it's feasible to invest in that vehicle or to let it go, okay? And I think they're looking for probably up to what it would take from a survey of the vehicle to get a 5-year life expectancy out of it, okay? What kind of investment the township would have to make in
Okay.
that vehicle.
Chief, we
I
sold.
have a question.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
Is your belief, though, that you have no interest in having 2 tankers?
That is my belief, yes.
See, that's the part.
Yes.
If we're not, he already said the thing didn't make a run in over a year. And I have to trust his judgment. And all the departments around us, we all have mutual aid. And if we have a problem, we can't get it from Waterford, we'll get it from Highland. We can't get it from Highland, we'll get it from Springfield. Can't get it from Springfield, we'll get it from Commerce. There's somebody at all of our 4 corners to assist us as we assist them. So to me, to sit there and for the chief to come back, go through the exercise, number one, and number two, come back and say, look, we got to put $110,000 in this truck that maybe we're going to drive once next year. That's a bad investment, okay, in my mind's eye. And I'm going to make a motion, and we can go.
Well, I have one
where
more
we go.
question. Just, I know we're busy as heck. Commerce is really really busy now that they're full ALS now, correct?
Yes.
So they're really busy. And to the south, Novi and West Bloomfield, they're extremely busy. But we understand that. To the north, are they, Springfield, Independence, Highland, how busy have we ever ran in where we couldn't get aid? That's where our aid in the north end's gonna come from, right?
In the north end, yeah, yes. I've not, and again,
You've been here 39 years, so you would know, so.
yeah, and if we call for mutual aid and one department's tied up, we would move to the it would move to the next department. So if they can't honor that request, we would make an additional request. It may even go even further out.
What's the lag time for, let's say Independence can't come, the farthest place you can think of, we can get water on a house coming this way, like for
And
mutual aid?
please, and I know you're saying.
Not
please-
water, but.
Yeah, understand, we're putting water, this is what our guys are, we're gonna start firefighting. I mean, this is water supply if we need,
Supply, okay.
additional supply if we need it. But we're rolling up with 3,000, if we bring all three engines, 3,000 gallons plus a 3,500 gallon tanker that we already have. But to answer your question, if we would call Springfield, they border us.
Yeah.
And then Highland Township to one side. If Springfield can't come, then we would move to Independence Township. And then it would be a domino from there. Yeah.
Just trying to educate
Yeah,
yourself on it.
and we're and understand, it's not we don't, so we don't have a guessing game on who we're calling. This is why we have an actual box alarm system, and it's in dispatch. So if we call, if we're in the Northwest District, and we call dispatch, and we say, move this to a box alarm, it's predetermined who they're calling, who's coming, and what we're getting. And if we say move to a second alarm, it's not just tankers now it could be an aerial, and with a lot more manpower. So everything's predetermined. Somebody at some point in the state, we thought about this to simplify the process. So we're not on the scene thinking about it.
There's a pond or lake there, could you use that water supply?
Yeah, but we don't, using a static source like that is, I don't want to say it's uncommon, it's later because it takes a lot of manpower. Yeah, to do that.
I wasn't sure, that's why.
Yeah, it takes a lot of manpower to do that. So that, again, I was just bringing a recommendation to you. Board, you give me the direction what you want, what would you like from my department, and we'll do that.
John, there's another tanker for sale, for $149,900. It's a 1998 International Tandem Pumper Tanker, 500/3000. Is ours a 500/3000?
It's a Pierce to begin with, isn't it?
I'm sorry, I'm looking I'm trying to find what you're looking at. Just give me 1 second here.
Yep. I can bring it over.
Actually, I see, are you looking at 1998 International?
Yes.
The tandem?
Yes.
Yeah, that truck, I'm not, I think the 500 is the model of 3,000 gallon, but our cab is bigger. That's a two-person truck if you look at it.
So I would be apt to agree to sell it if you had a price closer to 150,000.
Yeah, and 70,000.
Especially knowing that these things, they're 4 years out.
Yeah,
I mean, you would think the used market would be hotter because of the problems with the supply chain and the new market.
And that's a great comment. It's a good comment, and I'll tell you, this is exactly smaller departments are in the market for used fire trucks. The cost factor is probably the most determining factor on that. You look at a truck right now, an engine, you're probably looking at $1 million for an engine.
Yep.
So if you get a small department, remember, when we go north or even other states, these are mostly paid on call or volunteer fire departments. They're not career staff departments. They don't have the fund balance that a lot of municipalities do. So they look for used trucks. I'm not trying to offload a truck that I don't feel would be safe for a community. But again, at some point, when we start, the more we use it, the more it's going to break. And when our mechanic tells us to sell it, that was volumes to me. This is the guy who makes money selling a truck. And when his recommendation is sell this truck, I don't, I felt foolish. I would feel foolish saying, hey, let's fix the truck.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a motion here. Yeah, we got to go. I'm going to make a motion to request to approve the fire department to sell the 1997 Pierce dash tanker truck. I'll make that in the form of a motion, looking for support.
At what price?
We didn't set a
At the
price.
$70,000 price.
I think more. Can we start a
And
little
always
higher?
remember, we get an offer, I have to bring it back to you. You can say that's too low, we want to
Well,
up it.
here's the thing. Can you do a little more research?
Absolute- yeah.
On the value of it?
Yes.
So that we don't have necessarily a specific price, but we're giving the authorization to start marketing it?
Yes.
Okay, all right?
Yep.
So I'll make a motion.
About that motion.
So you're
Correct.
retracting the 70,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll support that with it
I already did,
retracted.
Liz, but I'll subtract,
I didn't hear you.
So what's this
I'll
come
only
back?
give it to Liz, but I said.
Motion, I have support, roll call vote.
Hold on, I have
Well,
a
he's
question.
got a
What?
question.
So if we don't have a number, then it just comes back next month?
If he'll come, he can, yeah, he's gonna bring it back to us regardless. I just want to give him the authority to start marketing it, okay?
We have
What
How do you
price?
market it without a price?
How do you market it without a price?
Can I offer this, Mr. Supervisor?
Yes.
How about if the Emergency Vehicles Plus is one of our vendors that works on our trucks. If I see if their mechanic can give us a forecast, what he feels this truck would be worth to put for sale, and we can go there. But again, I can't sell it without your authorization anyway. I'm just looking for permission to list it. That's all I'm doing.
Well, you can't list it without a price.
Right, and I can do you want me to get the price and then bring it back to you, or?
You can do that.
I'd
Yeah,
rather we
maybe
decide
that's
on the
better.
price.
I would rather us just
Yeah.
move it up and come
I
up with
tell
a
you, I
price.
retract my motion, I'll make a motion to table till next month.
Okay,
All right. Motion for it,
But
all in
you
favor?
only need
Aye.
a price.
Done.
and you just
Moving
you're just looking for a sale price. I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you.
worth.
Well,
Okay.
a price, but we also asked him to come up with a comprehensive maintenance list,
Yeah,
right?
well, I'm not gonna have to do that
No, I agree.
exercise.
Right
Both
there.
or just the price?
Just get the price.
Price.
Rick, I thought you wanted what it would cost to fix a thing.
That vehicle is not worth fixing.
Yep.
Okay? Not being used once in a year, and more than a year, okay? And the simple fact, we have all the mutual aid we have, and we have a very valid, viable tanker.
I just think it's fair to give Chief Holland clear direction as he leaves here.
Well, I don't want him to go through the exercise
Yep,
of
right.
dissecting that truck. And this is a tremendous amount of manpower to do that. And right now, there's just a lot of other things going on, and I don't want to put that task upon him. I don't think it's fair. He's got a good generalization. We know that it's going to be at least 40,000 plus the other items on that list, which you could add up, and it's going to be expensive. And then beyond that, when people start looking at things and saying, okay, we're going to forecast that, yep, we need to fix that tie rod, yep, we need to fix that front end. I just got a bill for $2,100 for 2 front tires the other day. I mean, so it just turns into a money pit. And if we didn't have a tanker, that would be one thing. But we have a tanker.
Mr. Supervisor, I just like to remind the board that we don't have an aerial device. We rely on mutual aid for that.
Just correct me, but we sold the other one, the engine, or tanker, we sold the other tanker relatively fast. How much did we get out of that? I can't remember.
We sold 2 tankers relatively
What
fast.
did we get out of those?
And I apologize, I don't have that number in front of me.
Because I thought it was
I don't
close
know.
close
Well,
to
let's
6
get a
figures,
price and go
so.
from there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Come back next month. Thank you.
I got it, okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
All right.
CPS.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for paperwork and I can't find it.
Kind sheet.
Thank you. Okay, next item is a replacement vehicle for DPS. We were able to find a very good deal on a vehicle, a 2003 Dodge Ram 1500 pickup. It is a Eco diesel, which is very good on mileage, and it will service the DPS department. This came before the DPS Advisory Committee, not this particular vehicle, but the consideration for a search for a vehicle. And after there was a clear and concise understanding of the need of the vehicle, the use of the vehicle, and the inefficiencies of the current vehicle, and also the fact that I can oftentimes hear it coming around the corner before I see it, it makes the most practical sense. And with the blessing of Mr. Powell, who was frankly the toughest skeptic on the DPS committee, and after having a better understanding of it, he wrote a letter in total support of it. Unfortunately, I left the letter on my desk, but he sent me a letter of total support. This vehicle is basically a $64,000 vehicle. Solanus is shuffling around. It had 700 miles on it. It was used basically as like a chase vehicle. for $46,299 is a very, very, very good price. So this will put us in good shape, and we'll get the truck put together and outfitted with a lettered and stuff like that for DPS on it with the township logos. And I don't have that specific number, but this would be taking care of the vehicle and getting it into service so that we can take the other vehicle off the road and auction that, have the clerk auction that off to offset the cost. Any questions or comments? Mr. Roman?
Yeah, our GPS director is a working director. He not only manages, but he's the guy out there doing a lot of the work. And when he gets calls, whether he's from home or at work, he needs that truck. It's got his equipment on it. It's got parts. And I really think it's about time we get him a proper vehicle
Yeah, 'cause
so
he's
that he
on-
can do his job.
Agreed.
Because he's on call 1 weekend a month, if I remember correctly, so he has to have that stuff at home.
Well, unfortunately, he's on call 1 weekend a month on the paper, but
Right,
if someone's
absolutely.
sick or other things happen, he's
Agree.
often the guy that has to go out and be there 99% of the
Agreed.
time. And the number of times that he's made calls that he didn't have adequate tools in his vehicle because that vehicle is not designed to carry those tools, nor is it safe to carry those tools. This has a bed and a box in the back, and we'll be good to go for some time to come. And it has the ability to put a plow on it if need be, and it has a tow package so we can use it as necessary for a hydrant repair and things of that nature. And it just, having a vehicle with the versatility is very important.
Just for clarity, is this something he's taking home and driving daily?
It's
or-
his 24/7 vehicle, yes, which he is required and under his contract allowed.
Just the memo didn't mention, so I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
Since he's a contract worker, it goes against my thoughts.
he's not a contract.
I know, I agree. Since it's part of his contract, I'm sorry. Can we eliminate some of the labeling? I'm all about labeling every township vehicle.
That's another matter for another day.
Okay,
Okay.
deal,
This is strictly
deal,
this
deal.
DPS vehicle. I don't want to get into
Nope,
all
deal.
that conversation, but it would be required, that vehicle would be, because it pulls up in neighborhoods and people need to know that that's a township vehicle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. You don't pull into an area. I mean, before you guys didn't have these for the longest time, and I was on the planning commission, I would go, and little old ladies, nothing against Mary, would be looking through the curtains at me, wondering who the hell I was in their backyard, okay? And, it always made, so I had nothing. I'd stand there and I had no identification. I couldn't tell anybody who I was. So it's important for us when we're out in the public and the vehicles out there to have that. So, any other questions? Yes?
I do, I have a question. So I agree that it's a great deal. The price is good. My question is, on some of the other trucks that are here, like, for example, the one that has the plow on it now, he can't use that one?
No. Generally, those vehicles are used by staff and are in and out. And if
But we
he-
couldn't like do rotate somehow where he then had a truck?
I'm,
Because that's the truck we just bought last year-ish? The one with the plow on it?
that has a plow, but if he has to take water samples to Lansing, he's not going to drive the truck with a plow to Lansing. And we have to take water samples to Lansing on a regular basis.
But when we take the plow off during the season?
It's not that simple. Liz.
It's gigantic to drive for
Yeah.
day-to-day.
And we're not gonna take a big dump truck to
Yeah.
Lansing. And all the operators have their own vehicles.
We are growing and we just created another position for.
I'm just curious
Yeah.
of what's happening with the other trucks, like, is that truck
They're
driven
utilized every day,
daily or it's?
daily.
Okay.
Yep. For
So
water
every truck
treatment,
in water is driven daily?
pretty much every day, yep.
Yep.
Yep. We're growing. We got over 2,000 customers.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we've hooked
And then
up
we have
Aspen
maintenance on
Meadows
top
and-
of it and everything else. There'll be days when there looks like there's a bunch of vehicles here and you'll come in and then they're all gone.
Yep.
So this is an absolute necessity, so.
One-
Any other questions or comments? Looking for a motion. Andrea?
Yep, make a motion to approve the purchase of a 2023 Dodge Ram, not to exceed $47,000.
I'll second it.
I have motion, I have support. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None opposed. All in favor. Thank you. Okay, we have another, we're going to have Gilligan's Island here again. Okay, we also have your revised agenda should have shown this, hopefully. The resolution 24037, accepting an offer to purchase the vacant parcel on Gale Island in White Lake Township. Now, just to refresh the board and the public's memory, several years ago, there was an action taken from the board to demolish multiple buildings that were basically sitting on the ground anyways, and cleaning up the mess out there that was a fire hazard on the island. And then we took and we reconfigured the properties and remarketed them. And now the only one that we have left to market is the blue one, of which we've received a very reasonable offer. I'm going to let Mr. Roman chime in.
Okay, yep, so, the last lot on Gale Island, we received an offer of $65,000, and our Realtor thought that it was a good number. The lot has been out there now for close to a year, and, this is the only, offer we've gotten, and his recommendation is to take it. And so, we have a resolution as well as the purchase agreement. Does the board have any questions?
I think it's time to recoup some of our expenses. This puts us in a positive on this entire venture.
Yeah, we've
And-
actually,
Yep, and it'll actually get it back on the
Profited.
tax roll and we'll be done with it. So if you're going to put that out there in a motion?
I will put out in the form of a motion to approve Resolution 24-037, which is accepting the offer to purchase the vacant parcel on Gale Island,
Subject to attorney review.
subject to attorney review.
Okay.
Can I
will-
make two motions at once,
I
or no?
will-
It's actually in the resolution
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, I will,
So as long
well,
as-
we're just making sure that somebody hears it.
Someone likes
Somebody
resolutions
likes,
separate.
yeah, and they like to hear that stuff.
No, the resolution adopts the actual purchase agreement, subject to review.
Do I not need a motion after to accept the
No.
PA then?
No.
No, it's
Then we'll-
attached to the resolution.
See, I
Okay.
told you this one would be
Okay,
different.
so with attorney review and.
Authorize
and
the supervisor.
Authorize the supervisor and the clerk to sign whatever they need to, and so that the money goes to the improvement revolving fund.
I'll support that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Civic Center update. Well, I'll tell you that we have been working diligently on a number of different things. We have awarded just recently the land balancing underground utility contract for $5 million, and that is going to start happening in September. In September, you're going to see dirt moved around on top of the dirt that's being moved around right now on Elizabeth Lake Road, so there'll be more activity over there bustling. There's been a series of meetings on different parts of the building, in particular, in the public safety building and in the township hall. There was a tremendous amount of time given to security and IT and networking and all of the above. So that got rather involved and everybody got into that. And there was another meeting today. So we are moving forward. We are looking to start to have a bid date of August 1st. And we will kind of know where we stand at that point. And hopefully we'll be off to the races. We'll know something anyways. And Elizabeth Lake Road is moving along. They have put in the main sewer taps that will go across the road, or under the road rather, for the new site, for the unknown development at the north end, near the roundabout. And then the midsection, and then the lower area where the public safety and the township, new township hall are going to be. So all of those taps have been connected, and they will start cutting the road and doing the main balancing. They may have started it already. I haven't been out there in the last couple of days. So that's all moving forward. And then Stanley Park will start to see some activity sometime this fall. I have not signed the agreement yet. And I don't have all of the details. Mr. O'Neill was working with Beckett and Rader to finalize that information, but it will be quite the delicate walk in between. Township Triangle Trail is all but done. We have a couple little sprinkler things and some little things to clean up. They just need to get that silt fence out of there and all the staking and things of that nature. And somewhere along the line, we're gonna have a ribbon cutting. So don't know when.
Be a ribbon cutting?
Yeah, we're gonna do
Really?
something. People are already using it. I see a lot
Oh,
of
I
families out there.
see lots of
Yep,
people
a lot of
use it.
people walking
Yep.
their dog in particular. So it's very, very, very promising to see that people are actually using it. So and it's nice that the Parks and Rec actually was able to produce something that they promised folks in the past, and now we've got 2.2 miles of new trail network to go from. Mr. Roman, anything to add?
So I believe the bidding is now open for the buildings. And come end of the month, I think we're supposed
August
to
1st.
look at those bids August 1st.
Yep.
I'm not sure about the landscaping bids when that ends, but I was thinking around July 25th.
I think you may be correct.
I think
remember
is,
that.
so, I mean, come end of the month, we should have bids for everything, which is really exciting.
So that's out there now, landscaping's open?
Landscaping is open and the buildings are, construction is open. I think Trish
The information from Potter.
today is gonna probably get a few bids on the low voltage installations as well. But we got time for that. So yeah, exciting times.
A lot of things moving forward. Okay, I will go on to trustee comments. Trustee Voorhees.
Thank you. I just want to welcome Smart Bus Fixed Route 759 to White Lake Township. Looking at the map, if I got myself to Meyer, I'm my nearest pickup station. I could get myself to Auburn Hills and my current assignment in Rochester on the fixed route bus, with a transfer along the way. That's great for those people, but as a reminder, we also have VODA that will pick you up at your house and take you to work. So it's as someone that teaches mobility training, it's a great thing for this side of the township. Hope to see everyone at Rockin' at the Farm this weekend at Fisk Farm, starting at 5 o'clock with 2 great bands. I've had a couple people reach out to me saying how much fun it was last year, and with these 2 great bands, they have a great following. It should be a great evening at the Fisk Farm, so I hope to see everyone there. Thank you.
Mr. Roman.
I want to kind of thank my assessor today because we got this offer that came in today on Gale Road. And Dave and Andrea helped me put everything together to make it possible to bring it to the board tonight. So great job, Mr. Haber. Appreciate all your willingness and hard work. And you got a great team. Also, for all of our residents, if you did not get a tax bill, I apologize. Probably got lost in the mail. But if you need one, please come into the office. We'll print you one out. If you want to call up, we are more than happy to email you a tax bill. Either way, but yeah, and those bills need to be paid by September 14th. Always remember September 14th without penalty. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Very good. Mr. Noble.
I'd like to thank our assessor for his hard work today, along with the deputy supervisor for both projects that we worked on today. A lot of fast-moving pieces that had to come together, and our attorney, as always. And just like to remind everybody, the Ruggles stand will be open Tuesday.
Today?
Today.
Yep, today, the 16th.
Oh, and I
And I've had people asking me about it, so I saw them getting ready for the season. So 2 locations, one off of Elizabeth Lake Road and 59 and
shameless
White
plug,
Lake Road.
Anthony.
Yeah, thanks. I forgot. Roman wanted cantaloupes and I forgot them.
Oh, there we
We had some
go.
deliveries. Corn.
You'll have to buy them.
Anything about the election?
Just moving forward with election training, and that's about it.
Okay, Mr. Ruggles.
Thank you. The planning commission meeting on the 18th has been canceled. Our next will be August 1st. I was able to golf in the police foundation golf outing this past Friday. My partner was Mike Roman. We had a great time. It's always a great time. I hope they raised a ton of money. I'm not sure how much they raised, but I know we gave a bunch away to Mulligan's and closest to and all that kind of stuff.
Sold all 20,000 tickets.
Really?
Record.
Yeah, ton of people there.
Record. Yeah.
Every year, it's great experience. I'll also be at Rockin' at the Farm on Saturday. And Mr. Heber, you know, I meant to say this to you. I think you're doing a great job. And if I haven't told you, when we hired you, I voted against you and I regret that. I'm sorry. I think you're doing great. If I
No
could go
apology
back,
necessary.
I would,
Thank you.
I would change that. There you go. Thanks. That's it.
Trustee Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So this Saturday and Sunday, our police department is joining forces with Walk for the Red as a fundraiser at Whitewater Express Car Wash from 10 to 3. Walk for Red supports firefighters battling cancer, so I'd like to ask you to consider coming out and supporting that. If you remember in September, that's the firefighting group that walks, you'll see them walk down on 59. So we are trying, our department is trying to support them, so come out and support both of them, 10 to 3, Saturday and Sunday. I too will be at Rockin' at the Farm, we'll all be there, I think it'll be fun, come enjoy yourself. I believe it's $5 to get in, I don't think that's been mentioned yet. As for the library, a quick update there, their summer reading challenge is continuing through August 10th. You can join, it's for all ages, that's free to join. And they still have, quite the robust summer programming happening. You can get there through the construction, of course. And they also have a summer concert series that is continuing, and their next concert is July 22nd. And then I, of course, want to take this chance to talk about Get Out the Vote. August 6th is the primary. Early voting starts July 27th. Absentee ballots are available through Clerk Noble's office. And hope everybody's enjoying the summer. And that's about it. Take care.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. The two bands are Magic Bus and Rare Earth, and yes, Rockin' the Farm is Saturday, gates are open at 5. Dave, you got a great group in there and really appreciate everything. I will tell you, this is unprecedented cooperation and involvement with the assessing, and I will tell everyone that when we are planning projects, and we, as the in-house, are looking at things and trying to figure out all the nuts and bolts, we now pull Dave into the huddle to help us go through it and say, okay, the what if, what do you think, what's been your experience? And he's really become part of the inner circle. So it's extremely important, and he plays a great role, and we really appreciate having him here. So, and no, you're not getting a car. And
Sean O'Neill will be back next
yeah.
meeting, so.
Used to be Oakland County's assistant.
oh, yes, he used to be Oakland County assessing, and their loss is truly our gain. So for that, I say it's
Real
good.
quick, one thing is our assessor looks out for the taxpayer first, and that's what our community needs and wants.
And one of
That's
the-
what I appreciate.
Exactly, and Dave's philosophy is the benefit of the doubt goes to the taxpayer. So we have to be fair, we have to stick to the law, but you have to be fair, and fairness is what's the most important thing. So I certainly appreciate that. And Chief, I appreciate everything you do, and Hannah, you put up with us, that's good, and everybody else. I do want to touch on something just briefly because it's been chewing on me since Saturday's event with former President Trump. And I really don't necessarily get political here, and I'm not going to get political, but I'm hoping that it's a little bit philosophical. Dear America, if I were to say one thing we as a nation and a people need to rethink our views, somehow there has been a layer of fog upon our rearview mirror. Our society is insistent on being progressive and moving forward with social change. However, we need to stop and clear the mirror. We as a nation have the ability and technical know-how to do marvelous things. We need to work on our fundamental patriotic skills. Politics has always been a sea of division with a tide that ebbs and flows each way. But the one thing we as Americans have been able to do is voice our opinions. We just need to learn the fundamentals of civility. We can agree to disagree on many fronts, but we should defend and respect that. Great men have solved great problems. Abraham Lincoln had to hold this nation together when all was falling apart. President Reagan defended America in the Cold War and changed the makeup of Europe in such a way that it is no longer under Soviet rule. We, you and I, need to put this great nation first. First to secure its lands, its freedoms, and its original ideals. If you aren't sure what they are, read the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. You might learn something. Everyone needs to stop and take stock in your freedoms granted by this great nation. Make your neighbor's welfare your business. Say hello, be kind, and most of all, be patient. As we, as a people, evolve, we must look into the rearview mirror with 20/20 vision, learning where we were, what we've done, and where we can go. The future is limitless as long as we remember we are all Americans. Tolerance, understanding, determination alone are omnipotent. God bless America. God bless White Lake Township. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion support. All in favor? Aye. Adjourn.